Hey YouTubers, how's it going? Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. Thanks for tuning into Housing Crisis. I got one coming out in New Zealand right now, and it's pretty bad. Rent frenzy, 40 to a property, 8 to a room. 8 people to a room. Do you understand? That's a kennel. You know dogs? I don't even think there's 40 dogs in an entire whole kennel. I think that's over the limit for dogs in one of those, pet places where they keep pets and pounds or whatever you want to call them. I can't believe it. Like, I don't think a dog pound carries 40 dogs at once. I think it's against regulation or hygiene. Well, that's what's happening here with homes. 8 to a room. Let's get. This is a really good article. I'm going to leave a link below. This is obviously in Queenstown in New Zealand. Queenstown is now the place to live. Every rental property here produces a feeding frenzy that is not pretty to watch and shows no sign of improving. The situation that Queenstown is increasingly ashamed, and it means that anyone even thinking of coming here to live without at least 1 million cash should maybe forget the idea and go somewhere easier, like London, Sydney, or New York. Those are still expensive places. 1 million cash? I'd go to Ocala, Florida. Northwest Florida, Ocala. You could buy a beautiful house there for about $130,000 on 3 acres of land and really good weather too. Ocala is really good. Just an idea. Things are now so bad that people are starting to advertise themselves as tenants with perky little online profiles. Long before they even get here, 200 or 300 responses to one Queenstown rental post is not unusual. Add a dog, a child, be over the age of 35, and you have a baby, and you are pretty much screwed. An investigation from Peter Newport at the spin-off has found the Facebook meat market, that is the Queenstown for rent page, a closed group with over 19,000 members, chasing perhaps 3,000 to 5,000 rental property, pulsates with the suppressed tension of property owners engaging with the low-hanging fruit of desperate tenants. Here's the menu: $125 for a week for a single room, multiple bed bunks. Shared with up to 4 other people, 200 to 250 for a single room. Shared house, $350 to $450 with a single room with its own bathroom in a shared house. $750 to $1,400 a week for a basic house and a townhouse, and that's up to 4 people sharing it too. Other people paying that. Try to get a job in Queenstown. The first question is: Have you got a confirmed place to live? Answer no. Most employers will show you the door, provide directions to the airport, bus, and say bad luck. I would say good luck. I wouldn't say bad luck to you. Anyways, let's keep going. I started researching Queenstown rental market over a year ago. Usually as a journalist, it's hard to get people to talk openly about bad landlords for a simple reason that they might get kicked out onto the street and have nowhere to live as a result. But here people queue up to tell their horror stories, and there's safety and strength in numbers. In my first week of research, I've discovered a house where overseas tenants had their passports taken off them as collateral. Hot water or the internet were turned off as punishment for complaining about the lack of heating, and the tenants were blackmailed with losing their jobs if they revealed the conditions of the house. Oh my God. Oh. Yeah. Another place I visited had rats, mice running around in their own droppings. 17 people crammed into an apartment that was just third of one house. Broken windows, doors, floors, plus the landlord had put a 1-hour timer on each 1960 vintage heaters. Oh, this is horrible. I also visited a legendary Castle of Fernhill, a modest frame house in Avalon Crescent, which at the stage had 40 people living in it. I'm just lost for 40 people living in it. It's been cleaned up since, and now it's advertising for an unspecified number of tenants, 130 a week to stay in 9 bedrooms, sharing 5 bathrooms. Wow. 2016 was the year we saw small Queenstown rooms being divided into even smaller units, with bed sheets hanging from the ceiling. Hot bedding, where 2 different people, often shift workers, share one bed. 12 hours on, 12 hours off became a thing. People now advertise the rent someone's driveway so they can live in their cars on private property. Holy Jesus Christ. Recently, I was contacted by a tenant who told me horror stories about a multi-tenanted property near the airport where he claimed 50 people were living. I can't believe this. I visited the airport property and found the owner, Robin Jane Chesmishov, was away apparently in Cornwall as a part of her dog breeding business. There are 2 properties on opposite sides of the street which appear to be owned, and the rates paid by the Chemizov Trust. At 3 Remarkable Crescent, one of the 2 properties, I saw over 20 pairs of shoes in the entrance area, with tenants living in sometimes windowless rooms off corridors, propped with hundreds of dead flies stuck to, I don't even want to read this, to fly paper hanging from the ceiling. A tenant spoke to said that one single room had been partitioned with plywood to create beds for 8 people. Another tenant showed me his windowless room with 2 bunk beds crammed against the wall where there was not enough space for the door to open properly. I found 1 toilet and noticed instruction tenants to clean the toilet and floor. Much appreciated, Robin Jane. So they think they're doing these people a favor by doing this. It's across the road, a second Kemershoff property, 4 Remarkables Crescent. So this is the same street here. The door was locked with another notice attached. Dear valued tenants, please text me on an appointment. I tried to contact Robin Jane Kemershoff with a number of occasions, but the phone and text, but there was no reply. I was warned that the tenants that she does not take phone calls. Oh, that's fantastic. By the door with the police text, noticed a small, dirty, rundown cavern containing 3 tiny beds buried with luggage and blankets and scattered clothes. I spoke to one of the tenant who was in the caravan. Sorry, I thought it said cavern. I'm reading this through a screen, people, and it's depressing. The tenant told me that 3 people are living in the caravan. He paid $105 a week to Robin Jane Kemershoff for the smallest bed, and the others paid $120 for the other 2 beds. That's like $6,000 a year they're paying just for a bed. There was no obvious way to cook food, no heating, no water, and no toilet. This is incredible, guys. This is the dark underside of Queenstown, booming tourism industry, where even local National MP Todd Barkley said that people can't live on minimum wage. I'm struggling to understand. This is different to sweatshops in Asia. We try grandly condemn by not buying clothes, electronic products made under such conditions. I have strong feeling that some of those sweatshop workers might live in better conditions than Queenstown's small army of minimum wage workers who keep our tourism machine rolling. I'm going to leave this is a link below because this is really long. This is really, really long. Look at this, people. This just thing keeps going and going and goes. A long article. I'm going to leave a link below for you guys to read. This is phenomenal. If you guys have had any experiences with living in one of these, like something like this in this condition, let me know. Comment below. Let us know. Share with us your experiences with this, because this is crazy. Never heard of like 40 to a property, 8 to a room. This is taking advantage of human. It's